Hello, everyone. Welcome to Working Together with Japanese channel. My name is Tak Kawatani. I'm a cross-cultural management consultant. I'm trying to help people lead and manage across cultures inclusively, especially for Japanese expatriates or business people working with non-Japanese and vice versa. And the other day I was counting the number of countries I've worked, and I have worked in 20 countries, conducting trainings and research, including Japan. All right, so let's continue with this show. I hope more people will join, and I hope they will find this useful. Today, as you'll see, we are joined by my friend, a special guest from Boston, Massachusetts, USA, Keiko-san, Keiko Schreiberg. Welcome to my program.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, sure. Keiko-san is a, as far as I know, correct me if I word wrongly, has been a business English coach for managers and leaders and executives and engineers in Japan. We try to come to the US for joint work. So Keiko-san, would you like to briefly introduce yourself? What you were doing?
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tak Sensei, for the kind introduction. I'm really honored to be here. So I have been working with mostly Japanese researchers who need to present their research in English at international conferences. And recently I've been working with Japanese startups who want to expand their business outside Japan, who want to come to the States, and who need to, give pitches to investors and partners here. So big responsibility.
Such a, what do you call it? Scary situation for Japanese presenters, I'm sure, for investors, right? So this program, we've been following my book, this little book, Winning Together at Japanese Companies, 日本企業で共に成功する30のポイント, right? We are still on step 1, let's get connected chapter. So today, section 3 is mingle before work. Mingle before work. Not after work. after work is okay, right? But mingle before work is a tricky, a challenge, right? Dialogue is lacking in organizations today. That's my view. And so is understanding of mutual needs. I mean, failing to understand the mutual needs, but still work is going on. That's what I mean. As today's global workers who want to be engaged in meaningful jobs, it is essential to know their personal needs and challenges to align them with a corporate goal. Law of form comes in here, and it provides a way of finding out mutual needs. In a nutshell, a lot of local managers working for Japanese companies say, we want more socials. We want more social conversations, social events. It doesn't mean a company organized, annual event, which is official, but what they're talking about is casual, Coke and potato chips type of casual, a few minutes conversation after they have done something, achieved something, small win. But the typical pattern of Japanese people by their nationality is majime, serious, committed, until they reach the summit of the mountain, which takes 6 months or 1 year. During the 1 year, they don't talk much. They don't show their joy or, or sorrow or challenges. That's what the non-Japanese people miss. They say miss. Law of form. Well, actually, this is not my personal creation. It was a creation by Malaysian psychologist, Dr. Ibrahim. And he was invited by a Japanese electronics company near the Kuala Lumpur when some accident happened in the factory, and everybody was in a low morale, low motivation because of the accident. So this religious teacher of Islam was invited to give a talk to a group of local workers, factory workers, right? So I'm quoting from him. Law form reminds us of what we need to be talking about daily before talking about work. This daily mingling creates willingness to offer help to a difficult request from a manager and signals a manager, shows a manager signs of motivation, motivational roller coaster of subordinates. People's mood, emotion change day by day. Isn't it far better to invest a little time on form than to ending up persuading someone out of resignation? And also mingle first before work. Okay, let's talk about, let's explain what it means. Well, first, F is family, O is occupation, R is recreation, M is a message. This M message is a business instruction, business request. So it's a pressure applied on the worker, your members. So before you apply your pressure, it's better to talk around family and occupation. It means how you're doing at work, type of a casual pat on the shoulder type of thing, and recreation, holiday, and so forth, right? How's your son doing at school lately?
He's been doing great. He loves his teachers. He loves his classmates. He's always talking about what he did at school.
I see. That's good. Good, because last time I heard that he was having a problem with his classmates. Now seems doing very good. That's nice. By the way, I understand your father was ill and hospitalized some time ago. Is your father well by now?
Oh, thanks for asking. Yeah, fortunately, he is doing much better lately. He's still at the hospital, but he'll be able to get out in a few weeks. That's what the doctor said.
Okay. Okay. Oh, occupation. Keiko-san, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm really excited to be here.
All right.
I'm learning new things every day.
That's nice to hear. You're working overtime the last few days. Are you not tired?
Yeah, since I'm new here, I have been working, long hours. But, like I said, I really love it here. So I'm okay. Thank you for asking.
R is recreation. What's your plan for the Christmas holiday?
Yeah, my family is going away. We're renting a house in the woods somewhere in Vermont, and we're gonna have a relaxing week.
I see. Vermont is a lot of lakes and the woods. Did you go back to your hometown during a New Year?
No, I haven't been able to go back to my hometown. Yeah.
All right. Okay, fine. Message. Now the work conversation happens. Okay, can you do this for me?
Sure.
Okay, can you do your best and finish it by due date?
I will do my best for you.
As we say in Japanese, 貯金を貯める, save some money in your bank account, meaning the conversation, the daily conversation when you're not having problems at work. So people lower their guard, no stressful situation, then people can talk their true emotions and conversation, honne. So this accumulation of honne or real conversation will become the kind of a shock absorber when the shock or pressure is applied. How does this form sound to you briefly, Keiko-san?
I think these are great. And, you have to really know your colleagues well to be able to ask good questions. You asked about my father, being in the hospital, you needed to know that before you were able to ask me that question. So it's not just, a one-time thing, you're not done, when you ask these questions one day, it's an ongoing thing, right? You need to build this relationship, constantly asking each other these questions and really learning about each other. Then you can ask, these questions. And it's not just, you're asking just because it sounds good. You're really building a relationship. So I'm mentoring Japanese startups, and these guys, set up meetings with investors and potential partners in the US. And oftentimes their idea of these meetings is they go in with a big slide deck and they give the pitch, they give a big presentation to the investors. So in their head, that's the most important part of the meeting. But actually, what's more important is to build the relationship, build rapport with these people, because it's not just a business transaction. It's about building human to human relationship. You know, if there is no relationship, business is not going to go well. You can't keep working with these people.
Generally speaking, Japanese are not very good at, not just because of the language, but we don't have that custom of sharing personal stories in the office, right? What can American people teach Japanese people about this building rapport?
What they could help is, yeah, like you said, to understand that things like this don't come naturally to many Japanese people, you know, striking a natural conversation or spontaneous conversations. It's something that they have to consciously do, right? You know, some Japanese people are not used to questions.
What is your trick of the trade? How can the Japanese people loosen their stiff shoulder?
I usually say focus on them, not yourself. Because if you focus on yourself, you know, how am I doing? Oh, do I look okay? Then it just makes you, you know, nervous, and then your pronunciation starts sounding kind of weird and you make more grammatical mistakes. I see. But really like focus on the other person.
Right. I would probably tell them, why I would probably think to myself, say to myself, I've got something valuable that they need. I'm the only person, or one of the very few person, therefore they are so lucky to have me share my experience and knowledge and skill. I don't speak as good English as they naturally, but my Japanese is better than them. So they are so lucky to have me. Some kind of a, you know, confidence raising self-talk I might do. Okay, many years back, I flew to San Diego, USA, to sit at the lecture by this famous doctor of motivation, the guru of motivation, American doctor. His essence of the talk was, you know, people's motivation goes up and down, and motivation is what I call a moving target. That's what he said. You know, moving target. Therefore, his recipe to the audience was talking with a coffee cup on a Friday evening before you start leaving the office. And like Keiko-san said, first thing in the morning on Monday morning, conversation near the coffee machine, yeah, is the very important thing to gauge the people's mood. So his point was, for leaders, we have to be constantly conscious of how people are doing at work. Therefore, the simple question we talked about, how's your son doing? How are you doing? Is not just English conversation. That's very important. That was the essence of his 2-hour presentation. Your last comments, Keiko-san, about what he said?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's not just to prepare for that, you know, like worst case scenario down the line, but, you know, to know how your colleague is doing, how your subordinates are doing that day really affects your communication that day. Like maybe he's not looking very motivated because, you know, his mother is ill. You know, then it's totally understandable that, you know, he's looking kind of down and, you know, like he's not looking the same as, you know, he usually is. So it's important to ask those little questions to really gauge where they're at, how they're feeling. You know, that really helps you become a good leader and a boss. Okay, thank you, Keiko-san, and the listeners for watching this little session about Mingle before work. All right. I hope it's been useful for you, both non-Japanese people as well as the Japanese listeners. Thank you, Keiko-san. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you. See you again. Bye-bye.